In our lives, we all face moments of struggle, adversity, and hardship. Whether it's financial difficulties, health challenges, relationship problems, or any other form of adversity, these testing times can often be accompanied by a deluge of negative thoughts that threaten to overwhelm us. It is during these periods that we need guidance and wisdom the most, to help us navigate the turbulent waters of our minds and emerge stronger on the other side. In the Gospel of Matthew, we find Jesus delivering the Sermon on the Mount, a seminal teaching that lays out a blueprint for righteous living. Within this sermon, we find profound insights on how to confront and overcome negative thoughts. Jesus emphasizes the importance of cultivating an attitude of gratitude, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Matthew 5 verse 3, he reminds us that even in our darkest moments, we have much to be thankful for, and that maintaining an appreciative mindset can lift our spirits and provide the strength to endure. Jesus also speaks about the power of our thoughts to shape our reality, saying, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." Matthew 5 verse 14, he encourages us to focus our minds on the positive, on the light within us and around us, rather than dwelling on the darkness. This is a crucial lesson, as our thoughts have an uncanny ability to become self-fulfilling prophecies. If we allow ourselves to be consumed by negative thoughts, we risk actualizing those very outcomes in our lives. But if we can shift our focus to the good, the beautiful, and the hopeful, we open ourselves up to the possibility of miraculous transformation. In the Gospel of Luke, we find Jesus addressing the issue of worry and anxiety, which are closely tied to negative thought patterns. He says, "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing?" Luke 12 verses 22 to 23, Jesus reminds us that our obsession with the material and the temporal is often the root cause of our anxieties, and that true fulfillment and security can only be found in our relationship with God. He goes on to say, "And which of you by being anxious can add a single hour to his span of life? If then you are not able to do as small a thing as that, why are you anxious about the rest?" Luke 12 verses 25 to 26, this powerful statement cuts to the heart of the matter, exposing the futility of worry and the need to let go of our attempts to control every aspect of our lives. Jesus encourages us to have faith in the divine plan, to trust that our needs will be provided for, and to focus our energy on the things that truly matter. In the Gospel of John, we find Jesus offering perhaps his most direct and powerful teachings on overcoming negative thoughts. He says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." John 14 verse 27, here, Jesus is making a clear distinction between the peace that the world offers and the peace that he offers. The peace of the world is fleeting, contingent on external circumstances, and ultimately unsatisfying. But the peace that Jesus offers is eternal, unshakable, and rooted in our connection to the divine. He goes on to say, "I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation. But take heart, I have overcome the world." John 16 verse 33, this is a powerful reminder that while we may face trials and tribulations in this world, we need not be overcome by them. Jesus has already paved the way for us, demonstrating that it is possible to maintain our inner peace and spiritual fortitude even in the midst of the most intense struggles. Throughout his teachings, Jesus emphasizes the importance of shifting our focus away from the negative and towards the positive, the uplifting, and the eternal. He reminds us that our thoughts have the power to either enslave us or liberate us, and that the choice is ours. By aligning our minds with the teachings of Christ, we can learn to cultivate a mindset of hope, resilience, and unwavering faith, even in the face of the most daunting challenges. One of the key ways that Jesus teaches us to overcome negative thoughts is through the practice of prayer and meditation. In the Gospel of Matthew, he says, "But when you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you." Matthew 6 verse 6, here, Jesus is encouraging us to find a quiet, private space where we can connect with the divine, free from the distractions and negative influences of the outside world. Through prayer and meditation, we can quiet the chatter of our minds, release our grip on the things we cannot control, and align our thoughts with the eternal truths that Jesus has revealed to us. We can seek guidance, strength, and comfort in the presence of the divine, allowing our fears and worries to melt away as we immerse ourselves in the boundless love and wisdom of God. Jesus also teaches us the power of forgiveness, both towards others and towards ourselves, as a means of overcoming negative thought patterns. In the Gospel of Matthew, he says, "For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses." Matthew 6 verses 14 to 15. This powerful teaching reminds us that harboring resentment, anger, and unforgiveness towards others only serves to weigh us down and cloud our minds with toxic thoughts. By cultivating a spirit of forgiveness, we free ourselves from the burden of negative emotions and open ourselves up to the healing power of divine grace. This is equally true when it comes to forgiving ourselves for our own mistakes and shortcomings. Jesus reminds us that we are all imperfect beings, and that the path to spiritual growth lies not in self-flagellation, but in self-acceptance and self-forgiveness. In the Gospel of Luke, we find Jesus offering a parable that beautifully illustrates this principle. He tells the story of the Pharisee and the tax collector, both of whom go to the temple to pray. The Pharisee prays, "God, I thank you that I am not like other men, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even like this tax collector." Luke 18 verse 11. Here meanwhile, the tax collector would not even lift up his eyes to heaven, but beat his breast, saying, "God, be merciful to me, a sinner." Luke 18 verse 13. Jesus then reveals that it is the tax collector, with his humble and contrite spirit, who leaves the temple justified before God, while the Pharisee, with his self-righteous and judgmental attitude, is turned away. This parable teaches us that true spiritual growth comes not from a relentless pursuit of perfection, but from a willingness to acknowledge our flaws, accept our humanity, and seek forgiveness and redemption from the divine. By embracing this mindset of self-forgiveness and compassion, we free ourselves from the toxic grip of negative thoughts and open ourselves up to the transformative power of God's love and grace. We can learn to view our mistakes not as failures, but as opportunities for growth and transformation, secure in the knowledge that we are loved and accepted by the divine, imperfections and all. Another key aspect of Jesus' teachings on overcoming negative thoughts is the importance of serving others and cultivating a spirit of compassion and generosity. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet." Matthew 5 verse 13. Here, Jesus is reminding us that our purpose in life is not to wallow in our own problems and negative thoughts, but to be a force for good in the world, to use our unique gifts and talents to uplift and serve others. When we shift our focus away from our own struggles and towards the needs of those around us, we not only bring joy and relief to others, but we also experience a profound sense of meaning and purpose that can help to counteract the negative thought patterns that so often plague us. In the Gospel of Luke, Jesus tells the parable of the Good Samaritan, which further illustrates this principle. In the story, a man is attacked and left for dead on the side of the road. A priest and a Levite, both members of the religious elite, pass by without stopping to help. But a Samaritan, a member of a despised and marginalized group, stops to tend to the man's wounds, providing him with shelter, food, and financial support. Jesus then asks the audience, which of these three, do you think, proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell among the robbers? Luke 10 verse 36, the answer, of course, is the Samaritan, who displayed true compassion and concern for the well-being of another human being. This parable teaches us that true spirituality is not about adhering to rigid rules or outward displays of piety, but about cultivating a heart that is open to the suffering of others and a willingness to take action to alleviate that suffering. By focusing our energy on serving others and bringing more light and love into the world, we not only uplift those around us, but we also experience a profound sense of inner peace and fulfillment that can help to counteract the negative thought patterns that so often plague us. When we shift our focus away from our own problems and towards the needs of others, we tap into a well of resilience, strength, and joy that can sustain us through even the most difficult of times. Throughout his teachings, Jesus also emphasizes the importance of maintaining a steadfast faith in the divine, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. In the Gospel of Matthew, he says, "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing?" Matthew 6 verse 25. Here, Jesus is reminding us that our ultimate security and well-being does not lie in the temporal and material, but in our relationship with the divine. When we place our trust in God, when we surrender our fears and worries to the one who is all-powerful and all-loving, we free ourselves from the paralyzing grip of negative thoughts and open ourselves up to the boundless grace and provision of the divine. Ultimately, Jesus' teachings on overcoming negative thoughts in times of struggle offer us a profound and transformative message of hope. They remind us that even in our darkest moments, even when the world seems to be crumbling around us, we have the power within us to rise above the negativity and to find joy, peace, and purpose in our lives. By embracing the wisdom and guidance that Jesus has so generously shared with us, we can learn to cultivate a mindset of resilience, faith, and unwavering trust in the divine, and to emerge from our struggles stronger, wiser, and more spiritually grounded than ever before.